It's a beautiful time to talk sports again. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of the program, Sport Pizza, where you get the absolute best in the ever-exciting world of sport. My name is Brownson, and international break gradually would be winding down, and the club football will be returning this weekend. I can't wait for that one. But of course, everybody wants to talk about what happened last Friday, where Super Eagles of Nigeria lost the 4-goal lead to their Sierra Leonean counterpart, and the game ended 4-all. Now, I'm going to ignore what happened this week. My focus would be on the game last Friday. And also, lots of things happening in the world of sports. Club football may not be up, but of course, the world of sport never go to sleep. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, Olakunle Phillips will be joining me. Welcome back. Now, Olakunle Phillips joins me at this time. Kunle, good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Brownson. It's good to be here once again to talk sport and sport pizza. I remember I was on the substitute bench last week, but I'm really very delighted to be back again. But then, it's not a very good one because some of us are still sad about the dismal performance put up by the Super Eagles against the Leon Stars. Against Sierra Leone on Friday. It was a disappointing one, but then there's a lot to talk about as far as the Super Eagles is concerned. What actually went down? How could we have allowed, capitulate after leading by 4-0? I think it's really something we really have to talk about.
It was a sad one indeed, Kunle. But let's also tell you that after that game last Friday, now, like I said, we are going to be redundant about the game that went down this week. But after that game last Friday, it was a shocking one because the Nigerian Football Federation President, Amaju Melvin Pinnick, went very hard on the Super Eagles players. And for the first time, we saw the kind of authority we want to see in the dressing room. But even though General was quiet, maybe he's going to have a different session. He had a different session with the players. But Amaju Melvin Pinnick was very emphatic, expressed his disappointment. And I think sometimes these players need to understand that, yeah, even though we have a way of running after you to come and play for Super Eagles, wearing the green and white color is a privilege.
Most of the blame goes to the president of the Football Association, and that's what Amaju Pinnick is talking about. You know, he has been under fire for quite some time right now. The blame also goes to the coach of the side. So that is why Amaju Pinnick was sad about how the game actually went down. Really, he needed to be frank. He told them categorically that he doesn't need to console anybody. Let us all feel the pain together. And you have to understand the fact that you are carrying, a lot of, Nigeria has a population of over 200 million people. So you should count yourself very lucky and privileged to don the green-white-green jersey of Nigeria. And, he spoke so passionately. And, one of the things that actually caught my attention, Brownson, was the fact that he said he's bothered about so many things that they are not bothered about. The FIFA ranking is there. By virtue of the fact that we
lost to,
it's more or less like a loss.
We are definitely going to drop.
We're going to drop in the ranking regardless of what happens in Freetown.
Green, white, green, that we are proud footballing nation. It's supposed to go to Sierra Leone and beat them that 4-0 on reply. I'm very emotional now. I feel very pained. And I feel extremely pained. I'm not going to lie to you. When I was coming, cheer them up. No, I'm not going to cheer up. I can't cheer you up and remain pained. No. Let us suffer the emotions together.
Is the way to go, Brownson.
Now, don't forget that when this list, the list of invited players for these games were released some 2-3 weeks ago, thereabout, on this show, we drew our concerns to the fact that that list had lots of attacking players, which is good for the squad, lots of defenders, and we also drew our concern to the fact that we had just maybe 2 or 3 let's say natural midfielders in the squad. Football mostly is won and played in the midfield.
I have a lot of questions about the tactical ability, the input of Genotro. Firstly, we're playing against Sierra Leone, a lowly ranked team in the world. Why invite over 10 defenders? I think it's really very shocking. You have just 2 natural midfielders. Yes, we have Ogeneka Retebo, we have Joe Aribo. Then most of the time, Alex Iwobi plays from the flanks. So I don't regard Alex Iwobi as a midfielder. Now, why will you have just okay? If Aribo or Ogeneta Rose is injured, what happens?
A defender will become a midfielder.
You play from the defense to the attack straight. You let the midfield be, and that is why the Eagles have been struggling in games. You saw that friendly between the Super Eagles and the Desert Foxes of Algeria. The friendly game, we had just about one midfielder in the team. He backed the whole of the attack with, the midfield with attackers. Who does that? Which I don't know. I don't understand the philosophy of Genotro. You can only achieve, you can really, win games against smaller teams with that kind of selection. But when you're playing against a bigger team, you will struggle. And that's exactly what we are seeing right now. You don't play just one or two natural midfielders and you expect the team. You play defenders, you play strikers, and you expect the team to deliver. All must work together. You have the defense, you have the midfield, and you also have the attack. You don't invite too much players in the midfield, in the defense. You have lesser players in the midfield, and you have a lot of players in the attack.
Even in the defense, we had some defenders on that game that played out. They were played out of position.
You're talking about Kevin Akpoguma. I don't understand.
He's the central defender.
He did that in one of the friendly games, and you saw the dismal performance the young man put up. So many people are casting aspersions on him right now because they felt that he was one of the weakest links in the defense of the Super Eagles against Sierra Leone. But then, when you play naturally, Akpoguma for his club plays in the central defense.
The central defense role.
So we have natural, right backs in the team. We have Ola, we have Tyron Eboye.
Eboye was there.
And Wednesday can also play that position. Why play someone who actually plays that position in the team? He came out to say, yes, because of the fact that the Sierra Leoneans are very tall, and he saw that Akpoguma is tall. Come on, that is not the way to go. These guys have been doing well. Tyron Eboye has been doing well. Ola has been doing well with the team. In the right fullback. So why would you now inject that kind of the player? And also, let's not forget, it was only Leon Balogun and William Ekong. There were, players, they played in the central defense for the Super Eagles. We have Sanusi, who was making his first competitive game for the Super Eagles. And also had Akpoguma. You don't try that, in a competitive game.
Yeah,
probably he underrated Sierra Leone and it backfired.
Definitely. With the setup of the Super Eagles squad, it must be said that we got complacent with the team. We thought it was already 3 points in our back pocket.
Let's also not forget, I'm disappointed with Alex Iwobi and a few of the players. I'm so disappointed.
Now, I was going to come to that. Sometimes when teams perform poorly, the pressure and all the attacks most time goes to the coach or the manager, whichever way you want to call it. But now, what do you say about these players who's given an opportunity to play? Would you say that they were not 100%, or do we just have inferior players who feel they are superstars?
Now, Brownson, one thing is for you to have players who are playing competitively, for their clubs, and then they get invited to the national team. Another thing is for them to be able to deliver while playing for the national team. I think that's one aspect that we're actually lacking in as far as this is concerned. Apart from the tactical, input of the coach, and some of the players didn't come to party at all. They didn't really impress in the game. And the Nigerian spirit, the Nigerian factor, I think some of them didn't watch the Nigerian national team from back in the days. A player like Joseph Yobo should tell them the Nigerian spirit is always coming to fore even when the chips are down. But this bunch don't seem to have that kind of spirit. For some of the players, they didn't live up to expectation. The coach will have confidence in them that yes, they have what it takes, judging from what he has seen them play in their respective clubs. And that is why Pinnick is telling him, he said, if he were to be the coach, some of these players who played against him alone will not be called up to the national team again. But then he said it is left for the coach to actually do.
We have been building this national team for the past 6 years thereabouts. And I'm wondering, how long is too long to build a national team? Or, is the road just running around a circle? Because I don't understand why we'll still be rebuilding a team for 6 years and we still don't have starting 11. As it is, I'm a journalist. I don't know our starting 11 in every game.
Brownson, I think the Amaju Pinnick-led NFF are not doing what they ought to do. Yes, I was emotional about the speech he made after the game. I think he spoke passionately, and I saw the passion and the desire and all of that in him. That leadership charisma is actually there. But then you give I mean, the coach, you give him the guidelines, you give him the ultimatum. You have so years to do this, you have so years to achieve this, and if this is not coming up, then you'll be queried. A lot of questions they will need to ask you. I think Genotro has been given too much room, and for me, he's so relaxed about what he's doing right now. It's not really forthcoming in terms of results. By now, when Clemens Westerhoff was employed as the coach of the Super Eagles in 1990, that was when we were playing the qualifiers for the Italian 90. Yes, we lost the game. We lost one of the games against. We lost in Yaoundé against Cameroon. And when Clemens Westerhoff resumed fully as national team coach in Algeria 1990, that was his first international game. He went with a bunch of home-based players. I'm telling you, some of the players had issues. Players like Peter Rufai and all of them had issues with the Nigerian Football Association as at then. But then Clemens Westerhoff took a bunch of home-based players. That was what brought about the emergence of Daniel Amokachi, who went out to impress in Algiers 90. He did very well. We got to the final. We were beaten in the first game against Algeria. I think it was 4-1 or 5-1 by the Rabamaja-led team. Then the team resurged. They kept winning games. They were consistent, and they got to the final, losing to the same Algerian team by a goal to nothing. After that, Senegal 92, we got to the semi-final and lost to Ghana in the semi-final. We came third, beating Cameroon in the third place match. In 1994, the Super Eagles were the best team. They were the best. We went all out.
So it took like 4 years.
It took like 4 years
to get to that point.
Why is it taking? Then we qualified Nigeria for the first time to the World Cup in 1994, and for the first time also we got to the second round. It wasn't just about that. We played exciting, scintillating football. What is happening right now? Even the game we lost to the Italians was just very luck, because we were dominating for a very longer period of the game. We were absolutely dominant in that game. I really don't see the tactical. When Clemens Westerhoff goes to the field, when the players go to the field, he tells you, I'm beating them by 4 goals to nothing. We win by 4 goals to 1, and that's exactly what we see. But in the case of Genotro, you bring in this player today, you bring in another player tomorrow, you bring in, and you just dismantle the team. We don't even have our first 11. I really don't believe in what he's doing right now.
Maybe it needs 10 years.
Come on.
Maybe it needs 10 years to put it together.
What it will take him to build a team.
Well, let's see how well that goes. I mean, for General, we've overflogged his issue, but I think the onus lies in the table of the Nigerian Football Federation to take a decision that will favor the nation's football. Now, let's take a very quick break. Kunle was talking with so much passion. I mean, I'm sure most Nigerians also felt the pains. But guys, don't worry. Super Eagles will be back stronger. Let's take a break right now. We'll be back. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now let's move straight to what will be happening this weekend. Club football returns this weekend with a bang, and I'm sure lots of people are expecting a lot of things from their club side, but one club is really suffering with more injuries strolling into the squad. Now Robertson, Liverpool left back, has joined the injury list. Trent Alexander-Arnold was injured sometime last week, and list of first team players has risen to about 12 for Liverpool. It's a very difficult period to be a coach. I mean, if you're judging Klopp right now, I wonder what will be in his mind. It's
a very sad one. So many of the players are injured right now, and he might just be playing the game against Leicester City without his first regular defenders, the 4 players at the back. And Robertson really was one of those I was actually looking forward to playing that game against Leicester City, owing to the fact that most of the players whom by heart is injured right now. So Robertson, it was the game against Serbia that got injured, playing for Scotland, and it was an historic one for him as well. The fact that the team Scotland were able to qualify for the European Nations League for the first time in a very long time, but then is a sad one for Jurgen Klopp, because for some of the top teams, they will be happy that probably
it might be a good time.
it might be a good time to actually hit them and of course get the needed result. It's an opportunity for some of the players, the non-regulars, to come and prove their mettle right now. There's always an opportunity, and when you have this kind of opportunity, you have to grab it with your two hands. Let's see how things pan out. But then for some of the teams, some of the big teams who have an opportunity, for Leicester City, the game against Leicester City, they are really going to struggle in that game because Leicester, the stuff they are made up of.
Now, Mo Salah is a regular in that squad. Mo Salah is out with COVID-19. We heard he will be playing until about 2 weeks. Matip is one of the formidable force in that back line. Is out injured. Joe Gomez is out. You have Virgil van Dijk is out. Which other top player again do we have out on that squad? Fabinho is also out. And I think about some 4 players I can't lay my hands on right now are out of that squad. So it opens up that Liverpool. I think right now is a test of the depth of Liverpool. Now, against Leicester City, I mean, they're like 100% right now in terms of their starting level. Do you think it's an opportunity for them to grind out 3 points?
It's an opportunity for them to grind out the 3 points, but then it depends on also the kind of players that Jurgen Klopp trusts, and those he feels that can actually fill the vacuum that has been left behind. But against a Leicester team that are fine on us, that remember in recent time they've been turning out wins. Even against Arsenal, they had to go to the Emirates and recorded a remarkable 1-0 victory against Arsenal. They've also been able to beat, even against Manchester City, they went away and got a very good, a convincing result against Manchester City. So this might just be another opportunity for them to hit another top team in the EPL.
All right, that's what it is, and a very exciting one. Let's see how well that goes this weekend. Now let's still stick in Europe. Let's go to FC Barcelona. Big news coming out. Neymar has been penciled down as a possible replacement for captain Lionel Messi, who is likely to move out of the Nou Camp in the summer. And I'm wondering, Neymar has always wanted to play beside Messi, and I'm wondering how that would pans out when Messi leaves and he becomes the new face of Barca.
He had an opportunity to play alongside Messi some years ago before. He was playing until he moved to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017. And even after that move, after I began to getting the goals for Paris Saint-Germain, he began to miss Barcelona again. I started complaining and lamenting the fact that, at that time, he felt that probably he was playing under the shadow of Lionel Messi. He wanted a competition, he wanted an opportunity where he would go to another club and be able to win probably the Ballon d'Or, or probably win the world footballer and all of that. But that didn't come because we see Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, after that, he started telling everyone who cared to listen that he wants a return to Barcelona, which wasn't favorably disposed towards Bartolome, talking about the former club president. But now that Bartolome is gone, there's this, and the fact that Lionel Messi is almost certain that he will be leaving Barcelona at the end of the season. They need to bring
a top player, an
experienced player back, and then who else fits into that position other than Neymar Jr. So I think it will be a good one for them. They need, most of the time, you get to see at one particular point in time, you have one top player, almost arguably the best player playing for Barcelona at one point in time or the other. I remember players like Mario De Faria at some point in time in the early 90s. And also we had Ronaldo Gaucho, who for me was almost one of the best players I've seen on the planet. And we had Messi as well. Probably when Messi goes,
you've left out midfield maestro Xavi Hernandez and Andres Iniesta. I think for me, growing up, those were the 2 midfield generals I grew up to watch.
Absolutely.
And the memories just can't wipe off our head. Yeah. Now, let's come back to England and talk about some players that most people want to say are flop already. Now, there are talks that Ozil already has an heir in Arsenal, talking about Williams. When Williams was signed from Chelsea, there were talks that he was going to dominate and all of that. It seems like, you
are so excited to talk about it.
But for Williams, what's happening with Williams?
Yes, it's an absolutely inconsistency on his part. It started like I was on fire against Fulham at the Craven Cottage. Arsenal recorded a 3-0 victory, and it was instrumental. He actually had a hand in 2 of the goals and also hit the woodwork. Yes, I remember Arteta telling everyone that yes, he's got a top player. He's got a player that will actually help the team win a lot of laurels. But it's been absolutely disappointing after that. You saw even the last game against Aston Villa, it was very disappointing in the game. The previous one, even against Leicester City, he didn't live up to billing. I don't know, some of the coaches are so stubborn. They just believe in their philosophy, in what they believe in. And then so many, I mean, people cannot change their minds. With the fact that Williams isn't getting in the desired, performances that, they expect from him, the fans, who have Ozil, the team lacks creativity right now.
And of course, that maturity that Ozil brings.
I don't know why Arteta has decided not to let Mesut Ozil into the team.
Well, his performance will tell. And as a coach, you're as good as your last game. Now, let's move to other sports. In Formula One, sometimes when we talk about Formula One, you already know the name in mind. Hamilton, he's done so much. He should be the Sportman of the Year 2020. Now, Lewis Hamilton has clinched his 7th World Championship and becomes the most successful racing driver ever with a masterful victory in the Turkish Grand Prix last Sunday. Now, he has also equaled Michael Schumacher's 7th championship. That's massive for the young man. Now, don't forget, in 2021, he can set new record.
He said to all the kids out there, dream the impossible.
Yeah.
He dreamt, and he worked hard, and here is the result he has been able to turn out. It's a massive one for him. A lot of Michael Schumacher's record has been there for a very long time, and he gradually, by virtue of focus and determination, began to, begin to turn out, those victories one after the other. And right now, he has equaled that record with 94 victories. Come on, the best for any Formula One driver. Kudos to him. And just like you said, 2021 is still there.
It's still there.
He's going to be winning more titles and to become the greatest ever Formula One driver in history.
And don't forget that he has also overtaken Schumacher for the amount of race 194. That's hoping to take generations. Maybe I don't know if I'll be here to see that, but it will take a longer period for that record to be broken. Now, finally on the show today, Rafael dos Anjos dispatched Paul Felder at UFC Vegas 14 and immediately called out Conor McGregor. He says he's going to be his next opponent, and I don't know how McGregor would take that kind of. It's an open call, so
absolutely.
I'm still waiting for his response.
He responded on Twitter already. He said yes, he's ready. He has a bout to actually engage in, and immediately after that, he's ready to take him on, and he's not afraid. And now that Khalid is no more in contention and has retired, it's an opportunity for both of them, to actually jostle in the whiter weight UFC, title. That position is actually open and vacant for them.
But does McGregor still have it?
I think he still has it, because he was saying, if you're talking about the two that can actually jostle for that to fill the vacuum that Khalid has actually left, it has to be himself and McGregor. So it's going to be a very big and historic bout. But then we wait to see how things will pan out at the end.
Welcome back. Now with that, it's my final bite on Sport Pizza this week. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. We are very grateful. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms currently displaying on your screen. Olakunle Philip, my strike partner, thank you so much for being on the show today.
It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm so delighted, and we hope that we do it again together next week.
Yeah, definitely. Next week will be a good time. Thank you so much for joining us, and please stay safe. Coronavirus is not over, so please, if you must go out, wear your face mask and avoid crowded places. My name is Brownson. Enjoy your day.